Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today I'm going to start a new batch of recordings of my papers. Now, the papers have a specific line of presenting as in paper sequence, not in the paper itself. Now, that sequence depends on what we have discussed before. So a paper will be about terminology, formulation, methodology, framework implementation. But then a paper about user satisfaction terminology and the e-marketing environment, and another paper about the business satisfaction terminology and the e-marketing environment, and then another one about the product satisfaction terminology in the e-marketing environment, and then about the whole e-marketing environment. Okay, but then the e-marketing environment has how many relations? Let's see this really quickly and continue. Yes. So we have seen this before, which is the e-marketing environment. Okay. So now let's talk about it again very fast. The business initiates the product. The business initiates the product. The product is being sold to the user. Now, if the user has his satisfaction with the product, plus or minus, he will send the feedback to the product. Now, in the product, if the business can find a segment that he can build his satisfaction life cycle on, then the business will be satisfied and then he will reproduce the product. So let's see how many lifetimes in this life cycle. Now the business life cycle, that's one. Then initiating the product, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then reproduction is 10. So it has 10 lifetimes. This means if I want to write about this life cycle, I would have to write 10 papers. Each paper, 10, let's say, 10 routes. And each route, I'm going to have to talk about all of this. Terminology, formulation, methodology, framework implementation. So 10 times, I don't know, maybe 4. Yeah, that's 40. Okay, let's say I change the subject from e-marketing to finance. That's another 40. And so on. If you change the science from business to, let's say, natural sciences. From natural sciences, let's say, sports, arts, how to make a successful performance art e-marketing, and a poem, law, the list goes on. So I tried to take each step, but every time in some lifetime of the 10 lifetimes, and each lifetime in a different product or service. One second, let me show you something. See the 10 processes, and then you have the satisfaction pyramids. Yeah, you can find it on X. I'm going to explain it in the third batch as case studies. I did this when I was bored, but yeah, you can see the life cycles and the 10 lifetimes, and then the satisfaction pyramid for everyone, and then the relation. So the pyramid has from up to down interdisciplinary, but this is cross-disciplinary. So you could have each lifetime by defining these, and this is of course the day-to-day operation. So yeah, well, most of my work is on I think I just put it everywhere, so the full content you can find it on X under the same my name as the papers, and on Rumble the full can find each one maybe hour and a half or something, and YouTube of course. But I think you should go to X to have perfect connections. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the paper, my first paper, 2012. This was in Malta, and of course I had to listen to my supervisors. That's why I have to write here E capital. This was a long discussion, but at the end they succeeded, not me. Anyhow, let's start. This is about the terminology, basically, but we are still building the terminology as in a paper, not in a PhD. So let's start. Abstract. Measuring satisfaction performances of different users on multi-business model problem implies to take into account that some users may have a small probability of success, but converge fast whereas other may have a large probability of success but slower. So basically we are talking about different users. So a user or different users and multi-businesses and time. We have proposed a new architecture based on performance indicators by satisfaction strategy technique to improve marketing user satisfaction environment and performance evaluation. So user satisfaction environment meaning lifetimes, and at the end one life cycle, big life cycle. And performance indicators. So now we are talking about matrices, performance indicators, key performance indicators, critical satisfaction factors, and so on, for integrity measures and providing different user satisfaction performance relevant to different perspectives, which will enrich the cross-analysis environments. So now we're talking about satisfaction environments and performance indicators. So now we are defining not just one lifetime, but several lifetimes to be able to complete the life cycle. And their performance indicators that have data information knowledge, but built on these same semantics and have performance integrity for the or for their definition of data. Okay. Yeah. In this paper, we present user satisfaction process classification framework. So we're going to talk about the user satisfaction and the PCF, which is a methodology to define user satisfaction for a product in an e-marketing environment using key performance indicators. Web-based e-marketing application, very diverse customers fail or fuzzy because these systems fuzzy satisfy various needs. The user satisfaction is basically independent and ambiguous. Okay, yes, independent and ambiguous. And it's always going to be linked in the same time, directly linked from independent and ambiguous to the linear progression of the day-to-day operations, which provide user satisfaction performance measurements and multi-perspectives outcomes that depend on the integrity reasoning between the user and company rather than the user or company point of view. Now, I think it's straightforward, but the word reasoning comes right now. I always talk about satisfaction, but if the satisfaction has a direct link between the user satisfaction, independent and ambiguous, and the business satisfaction, which is linear progression or built on business product process with a direct link. Now, the process or manifestation of linking in a process between independent, ambiguous, and linear progression will give you at the end the reasoning you need to, because nobody uses reasoning to fail. We all use reasoning to accomplish what we want to, and satisfaction is a goal to be achieved. But the manifestation of the satisfaction will give you the process of the satisfaction. So now we have quantitative satisfaction and qualitative satisfaction, which will give you at the end the reasoning of a human, or yes, not a machine, of course. Okay, let's continue. The one-size-fits-all approaches managing the performance of people clearly does not work. In our theory or framework, it works. There is enough research suggesting that traditional approaches are certainly not working for everyone. The debate shouldn't be about which user satisfaction performance approach is the correct one. It is more about which approaches achieves the intent you have for your business and your form